Sabaho everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at a 4K Android TV box that not only supports 4K as far as output, but has 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of internal storage, ports galore, and it just runs very nice. It's running Lollipop Android 5.1. This is the Docooler M9s Pro, so let's go ahead and check it out. I went ahead and put out all the content of the box itself. Of course, we have the Docooler M9s Pro. It's the 32 gig model. It has 3 gigs of RAM built in and 32 gigs of internal storage. If you've ever seen any of these boxes before, or even if they're running Lollipop, you'll most likely see a 1 gig, maybe 2 gigs of RAM with basically maybe 8 or 16 gigs of internal storage. And of course, you can expand it, but having internal storage of 16 or 8 always will limit you, especially for some of these applications that you can't transfer. You do receive a remote. The remote did not come with batteries. I had to be able to provide my own here, but you do have the ability to control different options here. You have the home, return, the ability to turn on and off the mouse pointer if you need it, depending on the interface, the menu key, the button keys, and of course all the different options here for media, TV, and of course volume. This is just to turn off the sound and shutting it down and turning it back on. Now, since this is intended originally for Chinese market or even European, you'll notice that it does come with the 2-prong. This will work in Europe as well, and they do provide me with an adapter for it to work in the US, and very easy. Just plug it in and it works very nicely. It's very nice that they consider the fact that it's going to a US market. So if you pick it up, you'll definitely be fine if you're using it in the US. We do have a starter guide that gives us an explanation on how to use it. Although it does give us an interface that's a little bit different than what we get when we connect this to the TV, as this is showing more of a stock interface, and the interface on here is more of a GUI, and I'll show you guys as soon as I hook it up to the monitor. More information, but nothing big. We do have an HDMI cable that we're going to connect to our monitor, and this will support 4K output. So if your monitor supports 4K at 30 Hertz, this device will support it as well. In case you want to connect it to a standard, just if you're going to use this type of connection, please don't expect 4K content. You do need to have supported cable as well as a monitor to be able to get the 4K, but it will work fine in any shape. As far as looking at the unit itself, we have the Docooler type name here, M9s Pro 32 gig. Nothing on the bottom other than the vents. The ports, nothing on the front and on the side here, but we start looking here, we have an SD, a full-size SD card support, and this little bit of slant here is a vent. We have 1, 2, 3, switching, 4 size USBs. These are not USB 3.0, USB 2.0. We have SPTF out to be able to connect to it if you have that type of audio setup. Audio, video, of course, this is the cable that we just talked about. And then, of course, the HD up to 4K 30 Hertz output. This is the HDMI connection. You'll connect it using it here. It has built-in Wi-Fi, built-in Bluetooth as well, but you are also able to connect an Ethernet cable to it if you need to. And of course, the 5-volt adapter that comes with it will power it up. I went ahead and connected it to my 32-inch 4K monitor. This is my Seiki Pro monitor, 32-inch. And it's connecting and it's running at native resolution. So I'm going to go real quick through settings, and we'll go to display, and then we'll go screen resolution. You can see it's 4K, 2K at 30 Hertz. Now, this will not support 60 Hertz, mostly because this is A, running on HDMI, and B, I don't think the box hardware can support it. One thing I want you to understand, though, is this does have 3 gigs of RAM, not 2, not 1. Most of these set-top boxes that we've seen, as far as running Android 5.1 that connect to our monitors, are running 1 gig of RAM and barely like even 8 gigs of storage. This has 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of built-in storage that you can expand with all those other ports that I showed you guys with the hands-on the unboxing. The other thing you want to notice here is the UI is super fast. Like as soon as I'm clicking, it's already going to where it needs to be. We have built-in Kodi, Cloud TV, and Netflix that came out of the box. I added YouTube and Hulu, and then you can go back home. The interface is very simple. It's a GUI based on top of Android 5.1. So let's go ahead real quick and go down to settings. You'll notice even the settings is skinned, so there's different tabs. It makes it very functional to use with a remote, just so be aware. It's not that they didn't like the original settings, it's just that if when you're using a remote without a mouse, it becomes very frustrating. I did have a Bluetooth headphones connected to it, so it does have built-in Bluetooth, obviously Wi-Fi. It does support Ethernet. Display, you have sound, apps, storage. Let's go ahead and go over here. I've installed a couple of apps, not a lot, but I just wanted to kind of see. So we have 26 gigs of storage. If I go in there real quick, and I think if it tells me I have about 25 gigs left. So overall, not bad, just for out of the box. And you can add more SD card or USB thumb drives. Just for the testing, just also let you know, I have 2 USB drives connected to this, and we'll get a chance to check them out there.
As far as apps, it does have some apps installed other than the Hulu and the YouTube that I added. I added XDA Labs to be able to install different things. Now it does have a PPPoE setup protocol if you need to use it, but I wouldn't necessarily over internet. Again, it depends. It supports Miracast. It has a built-in movie player, which I think is MX player, is right there. Music player, we have the ability of checking for updates, none were available. Google settings, of course, gallery, default, file browser. Kodi and is already in there, and it says Media Center, and when you go into this format it just tries to connect to the DLNA system to try to cast. So nothing major there. And as far as that, you know, here the download folder, device testing tool if you want to be able to test the different ports, and it does go through a setting system. Cloud TV is just an online IP-based TV service. You can use it to browse, you know, whatever's available. They do have a premium free trial that you can check out. It says loading, and then you can go change the area. And I say that only because it's hard, but keep in mind, I am switching and I'm doing so many things so quickly on this thing, and I've done reviews of other boxes in the past and they have been so slow. So just be aware of what you're trying to do and what you're going. And then these are just as based on the US, so whatever they have available to be able to check out. Let's see here, what else, what can we see? I didn't know Warner Brother had a TV channel. Let's check it out. So it looks like the stream for the video that we're getting here is directly either Chinese. I'm not sure about the writing, but it does stream and it does work. It's something very easy to use. As far as recommendation, this is what they have here. You do have the ability of looking at all the applications and customizing them. You can also add shortcuts at the bottom of the screen by just going to the plus. It'll open up at the bottom and add whatever applications you want. Very easy, very simple. Let's go ahead and go into the File Explorer, and I'm going to show you guys. Now I have, well, let's go back. So I have 2 USB drives connected. You have the ability of connecting up to 4 different devices, as well as the SD card. So those are the connections that you have in the back of the monitor. So as long as you're aware of that, we should be good. And we can go down. So USB-A is what I have, what I've tested before with other devices. This is a footage I just shot on my DJI Phantom PS Standard. So this is a video that I was just showing. My son was just playing around. This was a long time ago, but this is running at 2.2K or so, so it has no problem playing it. It is using MX Player. And then of course, I also like to show this 1080p file that I have loaded in here. Yes, I want to resume. I was testing this before, and it's going to start playing. And we can skip forward. So that was my son again playing around. And then we can go directly into the USB type B, which essentially is the other file. And I'm going to go directly to my SD card here. And we'll go in. Again, notice how fast everything is running. It's running very good. And then we'll go here, and then I'll just say, yeah, I want to use the gallery application. And again, here's my son playing around. This is again an older picture of my son. Very responsive, very fast. I mean, from the content creation to the interface, basically, you can interface with it very quickly. You can connect a mouse, a keyboard to it, and make it into a regular set-top box. If you install Nova on it, you can pretty much make it look exactly like a regular Android tablet on TV. So you're getting that experience. Of course, the processor on it and everything in there is just very good. It is the Docooler M9s Pro 32 gig model. I'll give you guys a link in the description below to be able to check it out. Definitely very nice. I want to say thank you very much for allowing me to review this unit. It's been really good checking it out. Very good, very easy setup out of the box. You get the HDMI cable, you get the power cable. You're pretty much set, other than the fact that you just need to put the batteries in this remote because it doesn't come with batteries. But other than that, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Very fast, very responsive. I haven't seen another box like this before. The 3 gigs really shine. Hopefully we'll see some more updates getting into this. At this point it only runs 5.1. If we go all the way to preferences, we go to more settings. By the way, this is when it starts looking like regular Android. So you can see here we get the regular Android system. It runs a tablet version of it, and it is Android 5.1.1. And here we have running Lollipop in all its glory. And let's see, can we make it on this one? We did. Nah, not happening. Anyways, thank you guys for the support. I'll see you guys in the next one. Initial thing, it says let's get started. It says swipe left for widgets, so we'll go ahead and swipe to the left. Front facing camera, fingerprint sensor is at the bottom, and again, this isn't a button, it's